My name is Bilal. I'm 27 years old. Yeah, I'm standing at the Babylon Wall. Yeah, this is the ghetto where I used to chill, like, and smoke weed. So you can see the distance. It's not very far from home, where I used to stay. Over there were flats. Right now it's a housing project, and you can see how near it is to the ghettos. So I'm going to take you through my story, and I hope you learn something from it.
Let me tell you about my ghetto life story. Let me tell you about my ghetto life story. My young girls, them a have sex, and then what them a young youth, them a...
Bilal started to take alcohol against his religious beliefs and defying school rules. He would jump over the fence and go to places like Wairaka in Jinja to drink. During his time in high school, he did not realize how much substance abuse was impacting his life.
This man grew up as a lovely boy. He was in the care of the father and the mother and the sisters. He's the eldest, but I had the other two children I was looking after. He finished his primary 7, passed well, went to his first secondary school. Senior 1, senior 2, by senior 3. He was not, the performance was not so well. And secondly, he couldn't return with the property he used to go with. So the father decided to change him in school and took him to another secondary school. But it still persisted.
Yeah, I started using drugs in my senior 1. Way back, I was in Muri, I think we're back in around 2002. So I got introduced to a cigarette by like some senior students. It was like the culture in like students that are like in Form 4, Form 6, like when they're teasing you, bullying you, or like making you like sort of fit in, they would make you do stuff, and smoking was one of them. So that's how I started, and it was like a joke in the beginning. So it felt like fun because I was fitting in with friends and it looked cool. But later on, like the habit kept growing. During the holidays, I came back and I learned now how to take liquor and stuff. Where we are standing right now used like to be a ghetto. Way back, I don't know what happened, like all over this place like was full of guys selling Mira, that's Maironji cut, like the stuff guys eat. So like we used to come here and buy it and sit somewhere behind here and chew it. And I would come from home with lots of excuses to just be here.
His addiction became so bad that he used to drink bountiful amounts of alcohol and then chew Mira or smoke weed in order to concentrate while reading his books.
I met Bilal at Mani in 2002. We were neighbors, basically. And that's how I got to know him. He became a friend of mine. And as time went on, he was a good friend of mine, and we decided that I think we fell in love. That's what I should say. We fell in love. But the thing is, as you get to know somebody, you get to know their bad side and you get to know their good side. I got to know his good side. He was very lovable. He was very adorable. He was a person you really, really want to be with for the rest of your life. And he made me feel special. And then I got to know that he was hooked on drugs. He was not so much addicted, but there was a part of him that used to go into drugs. Whenever something happens, somehow, when he's let down, when his self-esteem is let down, he would go back and he would be into that kind of world where he's covered and feels raised up because of the drugs.
Mje waleko waso. Adu yo gambo tia. Haje tuli. Ya haje tuje waleko. Mulongo. Kali. Tuze bachalira ko katono. Yeah, so me and many of my friends used to like sit around here, like come from home at around 2 and end up like sitting here in the ghetto, like let's say like chewing like till about 7 or 8. You get like, and you didn't think about doing anything else apart from that.
We all knew something was wrong, but there is no way you could come out and tell him, because the way he would react, you would not be sure. So we tried to cover it up. They tried to talk to counseling. They tried to counsel. Actually, they tried everything.
So after I first dropped out of campus, like that's when like I realized things were like kind of getting out of hand, because I could not make it for lectures. I could not do tastes, and basically I wouldn't mind, and it was like no longer fun. You just had to do this.
We discovered that he was drinking and smoking, but we couldn't get him on what exactly he was doing. In the end, the father decided to disown him almost and said, if you can't study, then leave my home. So he left home shortly, went and stayed with that girl. They gave birth. We had problems with the parents of the girl. The parents couldn't allow that girl to be given to us because of religion. We had two different religions. They were Christians and they were Muslims.
Bilal sought refuge in the Naguru ghettos with his friends. Using his talents, he started writing tracks, working in studios and media houses like Lifeline Media and Urban Accent to earn a living. The money he was earning sustained his drug and alcohol habit.
It was a bit hard, because as like I'd never like worked. I had no like job experience. And like I was used to like dying from home, so like I wasn't into like the work thing. So life in the beginning was a bit hard, and I had like to move and stay in the ghettos.
So I tried to push him back to school and continue, but he's like, no, this is not what I want. So, and every time he tried to read, he has to take my Runji to stay focused, and yet he's a very intelligent man. So I looked at it as something that was wrong, and that really got to me. And I'm like, this is not changing. Then the worst time, the last straw was when, after having the two babies, then 2011, 2010, I asked him a straight question: Are you ready to continue with your life like this? What do you want in your future? What do you want in your life? What do you see in your future? Do you see yourself taking alcohol? Do you see yourself with your Maironji? And it's like, yes, I see myself having my little room in our house where we can go with the boys, sit down, have our Maironji and our alcohol. That was the last straw, and I told him, you know what? I think we're better as friends. Maybe let's try to be parents that we ought to be, but we cannot stay as in a relationship that will lead to marriage. Yet that was our firm basis, and that was the last straw. Yet we had been together for 7 years. Because
I had curfew at home, say at about 10, I was supposed to be home. Sometimes before that, actually, it was even earlier, like around 8. So when it reaches past 8, and I'm in the ghetto, I feel like I still need maybe to use, I still need the company of these guys. I wouldn't head back home. And sometimes it would take weeks, maybe like 2 weeks, and you're not sure of where you're going to sleep or what you're going to eat. You don't have money, but all you want is maybe just sit and like smoke weed and feel like you're having fun with guys.
I think we've called more family meetings than any other family I know. It reached a point of my grandparents traveling just to talk to him. She would cry. She would actually cry for him. They would, I don't know, they had talked to him so many times. We had so many interventions. We had cousins, we had uncles, we had aunties, we had grandparents.
Bilal's behavior also became a point of contention for his parents, and so all of his siblings did not have peace growing up. His father, filled with rage, often vented his withheld anger on the rest of the family. It was as if the rest of the family was directly responsible for Bilal's behavior.
My dad would practically cry in front of him, and my mom. But I think he was still a child in the brain. He couldn't see all that.
So this place was like home. I was cut all the way from home, though like our parents used not to allow us like come to the sides of the ghettos, but like I know all this place and it felt like home. All this.
That's why I got up in the situation. Every day me cry on my heart, cause me know me not the ghetto. I get a youth when them see a young girl and them mama that send them to
I think it forced me to grow up and look at things more seriously, and I've always felt like I needed to prove to my dad that like I would be maybe a very obedient son, for him to get over his fear that someday I might disappoint him or something like that. So I've been trying to do my best at home.
So life is full of misery. Every day another youth with a wicked mind gonna take another one stop and gonna kill a baby mama. Hey, hey, let me tell you about my ghetto life story. Let me tell you about my ghetto life story.
So like there are some video halls here like where we used to chill while chewing the cat, just down this corridor and one right ahead. And yeah, this used to be like one of the bars we used to hang at. It was like the in thing those days. If you're not at Find Uganda, then you don't know where to be. Ooh, Jewareko. Nawe nkulaba oli bwoti.
For me, I hated my brother. I did. And he knew it. I would tell him, I'd be like, you know what, me, I hate you. Because like this whole thing brought so many changes, you know. Out there, people would blame my mom. She's your child, you know. That's what, when a child is bad, it's the mothers. But when a child is good, it's the fathers. So for this, the blame was always on my mom. You could see she was heartbroken, you know. The blame everywhere she would go, they'd be like, Hamwana woyo muyaye, anyo muenge. So that the ridicule that she would get, it was too much.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. There was no love in the home. There was a lot of problems. There were a lot of quarrels between me and the father. There was no peace in the home at all, if I can put it.
My parents became stricter. My dad would practically check anything. I think it was the fear of this thing repeating itself to any of us. My dad, whatever moment he would come to school. Make sure you don't smoke. Make sure you don't drink. Don't do this. Don't do that. It became stricter. They actually became a lot stricter on us.
It felt like I made myself pregnant. It was not such a nice thing. It was frustrating. My parents thought I was a failure. I was at home. I'm in school because I had to deal with school at the same time. And he was not helping me with any, not even the Pampers.
These are the places I used to chill at.
I'm gonna take another one stop and gonna kill a baby mama.
Sorry, this is one of like the homies I used to chill with. Do you feel like you'd want like a difference, like you want like to change and like chill the stuff?
Seriously. But the problem is when you're idle, you remain what?
Have you
idleness is another brings us what?
Have you thought about rehab?
Very many times, but I don't love rehab.
But I think you can see the difference. You can see the difference in my life now that I'm sober.
Yeah. I've been in prison, I wasn't using anything. For 2 months, using nothing, no cigarettes, no what, only food and water. But still when I came out, that's the same as rehab, isn't it?
No, it's not the same, because I was in prison too, like for about 3 months. And when I got out, I was still using, but I realized deep down that I needed some help. So I went out and like, got help, for rehab. I was there for 4.5 months, and now I can tell the difference, and that's why I'm here, like to try and like.
We have to pray for ourselves.
No, it's not about pray, it's about taking action.
Serious?
Yeah.
We shall try it, but we're still smoking weed.
I've come to learn that as addicts, most times we are like selfish. So it's only about me. I think about me. Am I getting high today? Am I having fun? So it was never about anybody else.
Okay, his breath and clothes would be reeking of marijuana, then it would be mixed sometimes with alcohol.
Those days it used to cost about 200 shillings. Then it went up to 300, and then 500 you'd get like about 2 sticks. But as in like I would get most of my money, let's say, from my parents. Most times like I would wait for my dad like to come back like from work, and when he would like hang up his suit, like I would go and check like for that loose change, a 5 grand, a 10 grand, to run to the ghetto and smoke some.
Chilling in the ghetto, I'm smoking up the weed, big rat, still we doing this thing. The man is saved, what one? I don't know what's up. Chilling in the ghetto is all I do. I'm addicted, nigga, can you pray for me? Yo, it's me, big rat.
Story, tell about my ghetto life story. My young girls, them have sex, and then when them are young, but them are turn wicked at night. Let me tell about my ghetto life story. Let me tell you about my ghetto life story. Why them are young girls, them have sex, and then when are young youth, them are turn wicked at night. It's a ghetto life story. It's a ghetto life story. My young youth, them are turn. My young youth, them are turn.
Adui namba moja naweza kuwa rafiki yako bro. Jichunge sana bro. Marafiki za kisenzi chini mtu kila mapesi yangu akicheki na wewe. Na ndani ni shetani. Napenda watu nyumbani watu. Naishi kama nyonyesho bwana ukuje macho njoo pendo tina.
It is a shame. It is really annoying to see those children who studied with your son are better than him. He's more or less a beggar to them. It's not easy.
The last time I saw you is when you left Nagoro. Then I saw you in the newspaper and I was like,
what's up with this guy?
What's up with this guy? We were supposed to keeping it strong, you know? Like the things that we expected are not the things that were actually taking place in our life, you know?
Yeah. Like it reached a time when I was in Bale, the ghetto like I used to hang out at was like any other ghetto, but if you guys have heard of Namatala, like it's one of the biggest ghettos in Bale, holding the worst thugs. So like I had no job experience or like stuff to do, like used to hang in the ghetto and maybe doing some music. So like I got into like being middleman. When guys have played their game and they pull your stuff and you deal it, sell it off and stuff. Cause like you're wise enough to do that. Then what happens, like I get arrested. And when I get arrested, like, yes, I'm not the thief, but as in like, I was caught in possession of the stuff. So what happens when they come to search my place, they find army uniforms belonging to another friend of mine, and I end up going to jail.
There's a TV station in Mbala, I think it is OPG, when he appeared in handscarves. The father was in the village, I was this way, so the father called me and said the boy has been arrested, he's a robber, he's going to be taken to jail. That was the worst moment I got. Because I asked him where he got, he said, I've seen it on the TV when he has been wrapped and they are put there, they are being interviewed. That was the worst moment of my life. I broke down, I cried. We cried together with the sister and the brother. Everybody was this way. It was only the dad. That was the worst moment I got in life.
You know, you would go somewhere and someone would be like, mwana woyo mchala mubbi. Era abana be bonna babbi. Actually, they started even calling all of us thieves because of him. And my little brother would cry, be like, this guy has messed all our lives up.
I meet friends up to then, they still ask me, man, what happened? What did you really do? Because they couldn't believe, as in like, what was going on at that time. And I realize now as at the crossroads, as at a point where I have to either choose to live, that's life, or to die. And to live meant being sober. So what happens? I call up my mom, and she still felt for me and showed me the love, and she was like, "Come home and let's seek help for you."
And then what made him recover faster, I think, it should be the father, because the father pardoned him, and the father could go there and visit him because the father had abandoned him. But when he saw everybody, even the sister and the brother, those are the people who had abandoned him completely. They never wanted to look at him. But when they used to go there, they could chat with him, sit with him and discuss. He told me himself, he called one day, said, "Mommy, I'm going to be better and I'll come back and go back at school because I've seen that now everybody cares about me."
The ball was in my hands. I needed to, like, either set myself ready to break free, you get it? Like, and set myself free, or remain in addiction and lose or deteriorate till you die.
I've taken my few first steps into trusting him again. I don't trust him totally yet because of everything that has happened. I mean, he broke my heart. That's the worst part of it. So I have to trust him slowly by slowly. At least I can say I trust him more than 50%.
I'm proud of where he has come from because he has come from far. He has come from so far.
He's a lot more calm, like he can actually sit at home the whole day and not have like a problem with it. Before that, almost like maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes, he would want to go somewhere or go see a friend or something. He's a lot more calm.
I think I would advise the parents to learn their children more. Unlike me who learned it late, they should study their children more. And when they discover something wrong with their children, they shouldn't neglect it. They shouldn't throw away their children, but at least seek medical attention for their children. They seek for medical attention. They look for counselors so that they can make their children better than what they are going through.
Right now I'm looking at going back to school. At last I'm going to go and complete that law degree. And then I'm looking at loving and taking care of my kids. And having time for family. You know, like when you're an addict, you only have time for the ghetto. So like, can't you know what it feels to be home? Like, and like be friends with your dad, be friends with your mom. Be friends with your siblings. Make up for that time that you weren't there, and for all the stuff that you made them pass through. So that's what I see in the future.
Bilal is trying to make sense of his life again. He's writing scripts as a freelancer. He's closer to his parents and siblings, and he hopes to resume school in September 2015 at Makerere University. He says he couldn't have done any of it without the love and support of his family.
I've really enjoyed moving with the team of Wiz Art Media, talking about this addiction problem. We've been to several schools and it has really been an enlightening experience. So today we are at Green Hill and I'm looking forward to the experience here.
He was born to be the King of Kings, special deliverance. Jesus was born in a manger. He was born to save the world. He was born to be the King of Kings, special deliverance.